Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to FM24 Youth Factory, episode 56. We've had a little bit of win-lose scenario playing out for us in the week since we left off on a last episode. The good thing for us is it was a double match week for Preston North End, the team sitting in second place, 3 points behind us, but with a couple games in hand. And they lost them both. In fact, they've lost 3 out of the last 4. They've not won in 5. So they are on a terrible run of form, and that's looking real damn good for us right now. Especially after squeaking out a road win against Shrewsbury. Last place Shrewsbury with just 18 points on the season, and we barely pulled off a 2-1 victory there. But with our 1 win and their 2 losses, we've gone from a 3-point lead to a 6-point lead. We've gone from them having 2 games in hand to now just having 1. So as we approach the final 7 matches of the season, 8 for them, the window is narrowing. It's definitely getting closer now. Barnsley did take care of business and closes the gap, so they're only 1 point behind them. Plymouth is also still right there. There's still a lot that can happen in these final roughly 8 matches per team that remain. Far from job done. But, oh man, we are looking pretty damn good right now compared to a season ago. But I said it was a win-loss scenario, and I don't mean Preston losing. That's a win for us. The loss is Adekunle with a damaged foot taken in that Shrewsbury match. Moderate severity. It's going to be treated by the physio. He's 3 days out so far. We're looking at a 2 to 3 week window of recovery. So fortunately, it's a short recovery. He'll be okay, but it's bad enough that we are going to be without Adekunle, who's our second best player on paper and a very, very important piece to what we do for the next round of matches. And for this next round of matches, there's a lot happening. For one thing, we're coming up. It's the Chelsea match today. Chelsea under 21s for the Pop Johns Trophy semifinal. No, it's not a big deal, but I was very much looking forward to the possibility of winning this trophy. That possibility takes a pretty damn big hit when they've got one guy out and we've now got Adekunle out, our best player, becoming unavailable for us. And we're a little busy focusing on the league with what remains. And 3 away matches in a row. We still have Wigan right after in the league before we then, go focusing on home form. Remember, Preston comes up right at the end of the season, and Plymouth, where we've got pretty winnable games in the other 5. I'm liking our chances, and I'm liking our chances of being possibly that 6 points ahead by the time we go into those last 2, and maybe take the title. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take it 1 game at a time. It's too late. I already got ahead of myself on that one. 2 week window? 2 to 3 week window? There's 11 days in between those. Yeah. Oh, look how we got 3 games all in March. Okay. We'll be okay. Might cost us the Papa John's trophy. Let's find out. So we kick off with Chelsea. It's always a mixed bag on what you're going to get because it's their reserve side. What do they have within that reserve side? What are they going to bring to the table? Who are they keeping available for the senior squad? It could be a really good squad. There could be 1 or 2 players that are amazing, and then there could be a huge fall off. It's a reserve squad. There's not really balance to it, but it is a Premier League side reserve squad. So. And it's, Chelsea. Spenders of all. Outspending everybody but Man City. And of late, even outspending them. Big chance here for Murray, but a huge save for Sam Julian. Puts it out for a corner kick. Keeps us in it. We've already played half an hour, so the 2 sides have negated each other so far. We are sitting on 1 yellow card as Julian is forced into another big save. That one low, driven through traffic, but Julian sees it well enough to clear it away and then clutches this one after it's headed back into the danger zone. It's McCartney who's on a yellow. We've got a lot of fatigue in the legs. We've had a lot of two match weeks here recently, and McFadden, that's a terrible turnover. Murray, another big chance, and it's another corner kick. Julian keeping us in this thing. After a very, very, very quiet first half hour, it's been all Chelsea for the last 7 minutes. Another low-driven cross is blocked and put out for a corner. Big crowd here, so we're away. We're away. How are they putting up this kind of crowd? But okay, sure. This is some sort of reserve side stadium, though. This is definitely not. Oh, Chris Webb with an own goal. Offside disallowed. Wow, that is so fortunate as we head to halftime. Still scoreless. We have not even had an attempt. We're getting possession, but we've had 0 breakthroughs. 8 shots, 5 on target, and they are absolutely pummeling us over that last 15 minutes. Ward also picked up a yellow there in the final moments, and that fatigue, well, you get a little bit of recovery here heading into the second half. There will be some rotation. There's already been some rotation. Hewitt and Walker in. Of course, Adekunle is injured. Wilkinson is too tired to even have a go today, or he might be good for a half. And the likely thing would be Walker moving in for Jones, and Jones getting that rest. And then having Wilkinson play a half, and I might just do that now. I was going to wait 10 minutes, but might just wait the 10 minutes. Let's go balanced. We need to get behind the ball a little bit more. I need to change tactically what we're doing. A talk is not going to be enough. Set pieces might help us, and we haven't even had a shot, so quit trying to work it in the box. Let's try to get some shots. Let's see what we can do there. We have no idea what they have for a keeper right now anyway. And maybe go for the counterattack instead of the possession. Maybe throw it long too. We won't change the other aspects. We were fine for half an hour. We'll see how we perform early, and then we'll change defensive duties if need be. Despite the fairly poor performance while still being goalless, sometimes that could be hard to get your team fired up, but we did get them fired up just fine. So we had a good positive talk with all 11. Now we've played 5 minutes. Damn it! Sam Lyons is injured. 51st minute, potential foot injury. Let's hope it's like Adekunle and less severe. Christopher Joseph ready to come on. And then it's not even McCartney, right? We're still sitting on a yellow. I mean, not that I want McCartney hurt over Sam Lyons or vice versa. But at least if we're going to be forced into a sub, it would have been nice if it was the guy on a yellow who I was already planning on subbing. I think it's time to make the move then if we're here. Let's jump in, and we're going to swap Jones and Walker, and we're going to bring on Wilkinson as well, because it's going to count as one of our substitutions anyway, so might as well do it simultaneously. Yeah, look, they've had the momentum all game long. Well, of course they've had the momentum. We can't even get a shot. Now we've played an hour, even with the counter-attacking. I think we just had our first corner. No, 10 fouls to 1. Holy crap. 70 minutes. We are getting beat pretty handily here. Webb is really exhausted, but he's playing well. I don't even know what to do. Like, where to go, what to do, how to eke out some performance out of these guys. The counterattacking has not done anything for us yet. Not at this point. Do we get worse with a Pascal Wiley? Like, that's the only other attacking sub besides Kalen Plain that remains for us. Do we change formation? I don't have any of these guys who can play center mid. Right, it's these guys. We could push up, but I don't want to push up. I wanted to get a little more behind the ball because we can't even get a shot, right? I got nothing right now. We do have potential penalties coming in 10 minutes. And right now we've negated them. They've only had one shot in the second half. We still haven't had any. but the little changes we have neutralized the game, and right now that's our best shot. Floated crosses, hit early crosses, sure. That's a chance to do something a little different than we've been doing, especially when we're trying to counterattack. McCartney, hold. We got 10 minutes to go. I'm starting the internal conversation about, well, hold on, what about penalties? We got a 9 penalty taker, a 3 finisher, and McCartney, I would assume playing can only be better than that. No, his finishing is also a 3. His penalty taking is a 4. That's definitely not a plus. Anybody on the bench that is good at penalties? Archie Jones can't go back in. Potter, Rossini? None of them. I don't want to make any subs. What changes? I haven't made any changes. Okay, we're going to time waste a little bit. McFadden, a corner kick. Woohoo. 87th minute. Entering the 88th. Wilkinson gets there first. But he retreated too much. Underneath it, all he was able to do. Stoppage time, 2 minutes. 1 minute. Penalties. It's a crapshoot. We have a chance now. And they're guys who aren't used to pressure. They might be prepping for a higher level than us, but they have not competed at that higher level. What do we have for composure, though? I mean, how much do we really have? Hewitt, Lanahan, Penrose, Wilkinson, McFadden, and McCartney. Is Lee Ward better than McCartney at? Not so much. We have some weaknesses here. I don't really want to save the pressure for the last guy. Can we bump him? McFadden. Where are you, bud? Oh, gosh. Wilkinson. I don't have penalty takers. This is not looking good for us at all. Wilkinson needs to go 5th. Let's split the difference here. Lanahan, Penrose after McCartney. The weak guys at 2 and 4. Everything else is just kind of a guess. Well, Walker and Joseph, are they any good? Joseph's not too bad. Walker? Oh, much better. We need to get Walker into that top 5. There we go. So Walker 4th. Okie dokie. We have... There you go. Have faith. Always doing the trick. Let's go. Spot in the finals on the line. And Hewitt goes straight into the post. Keeper didn't even move a muscle. That would have been such an easy goal. And we trail 1-0 after the first round of kicks. So definitely not the start one would hope for. That looked like he was going to save that, but Conley does not. And we level the score for now. That was a very important kick. And Julian guesses right. Looked like he was going to save that one and didn't. So 2 kicks in a row there. Looked like they were going to get saved. Lanahan, Penrose, though, keeping pace. 2-2, but we're still behind by a kick. We need a save. Parker Trott. This terrible penalty, but we guessed and we guessed wrong. Walker. The change. That's going to be it, folks. 3-2. If Julian does not save this, it is over. Murray steps up. Julian reacts late. It's up in the corner. It's a difficult save regardless. It's a difficult ball to place there. Chelsea were the better team all day. We had 1 shot the entire game. 0.2 XG. We kept a clean sheet under difficult circumstances. We only allowed 1 shot the entire second half. After a difficult last 15 minutes of the first half, we barely survived, right? If not for an offside call, we would have been own goaled and down and never had that chance in penalties. We do not have good penalty takers. That is not our strong suit. So we are out of the Papa John's Trophy, and the Chelsea Under-21s are into the final. We were definitely missing Akunle. We were missing... Our attack was just non-existent today. We were missing 2 key components from it, and we just could not get the job done with that one. Defense played a heck of a game, most of them anyway, but it was not to be. Preston have beat Salford City at the same time that we were playing that match, and there's that game in hand gone, at least for the top 4. Just 3 points behind. Nice healthy goal differential that we have. Barnsley's not far behind on that goal differential. That could still be a factor. 7 to play. Oh, that's a broken toe for Sam Lyons, and we're talking 2 months out. Damn. That's the worst part about this one, is the severity of the injury. And it's intake day. 5 top talents coming in, but none of them anywhere near first team ready. But I think we're high enough up the ladder that's going to be inevitable now. It's more about the potential side, and none of them are looking that phenomenal. On that one, we got one player that's almost ready. But overall, just an average intake. This is the second lowest intake that we have seen in the entire series. Yeah, if accurate, this is going to be a rough one. There might not be that many players to hang on to. So it's the 18s versus the intake team. We'll see how they perform. Of late, the intake team, actually in really most years, the intake team has been better. Partially because the 18s always gets cleaned out of its best players so quickly as they come up to the senior squad. And so the next intake can often have better talents. This year the intake is in green, while the 18s are in purple. My guess is the 18s are probably going to be a little bit stronger now. The other difference between this year and last year is not that, or past years, is not necessarily that the best talents are ending up on the senior squad quickly, but the best talents are getting promoted to the 21s more quickly. And so it's still kind of that same scenario of the leftovers are kind of hanging out down in the 18s. But are those leftovers better than the intake group this year? Find out. Offside. 2 shots so far, both for the 18s. They also have a possession advantage. They have a corners advantage. Fouls are equal. The intake has gotten their first attempt, so they've done, better than we just did against Chelsea a couple days ago. Ibrahimi, Hollick, a lot of new faces. I really haven't learned names of who we have down here at this point. Either way, whether it be the intake, new faces, obvious, but with the purple, with the 18s, I'm not even sure who they have as Cantoni. Interesting. Almost a certain name. Oh, what's wrong here? Seriously? Yellow card given. And a goal comes out of the set piece. Harsh call. Harsh yellow. Seemed to win the ball pretty damn cleanly. And here we are with the 18s up 1-0. Buttle. So not Cantona, but Cantoni. Ibrahimi on a yellow. Recovery for Cross. Finds Murphy. Murphy. Oh, that was not offside. Wow. Our staff AR is quite horrible. Or whoever we hire to do this match. Murphy cuts inside. Earns a corner. Well, not necessarily cuts inside. Drives forward. It's more like it. Roberts just gets there first. That was a big chance. Murphy. The intake's putting some pressure on right now. Nice one-touch passing there. Ruddy. Low cross. That's the one that was missing on those last couple of chances. Yeton. Free kick. Bends it like Beckham, but not quite like Beckham because he can't get it on target. They've played an hour. The intake group has definitely gotten more into this game. Nice low cross there. Lays it off for Roberts. Good save from Roberts. Roberts to Roberts. Driven cross to the far post, and nobody was ready for it. Poor movement, poor awareness, poor off the ball from the team there. Goal each for XG. The intake have even taken control since giving up the goal to the 18s. Is that a penalty? Oh, it is. It is. Are we going to come out of this thing with a draw? And what will the 18s do now? Because being down a goal has forced the intake team to be more aggressive. And I don't know what the foul was. Holding. probably on the corner there. But now the two sides are pretty level. The XG, obviously, especially with that point 0.8 for the penalty, has really driven the intake team ahead. But honestly, I'd say never mind that point 0.8. We're looking at an XG that's very similar, excluding that particular call. Good poke there. Nice pass from Cantoni. Alrighty, good idea to chip the keeper, but can't get it on frame. And it's going to finish in a 1-1 draw. And honestly, I'd say it was pretty dang level. I think the only thing that gave the intake the edge was the fact that they spent half the game down a goal and had to attack. But look at that. Nothing for like one shot attempts. So they negated the 18s really well in that second half. In terms of current ability, Daniel Roberts, that's that center back we were looking at, also a defensive mid. That's a solid one. He's a 77, 129 already coming out of the academy. That's certainly good. Cantoni is one of the better ones with a 65, 138. This is not a bad intake. This is definitely not a bad intake, but there's a lot of current ability shortcomings of this group. Now, potential, of course, is the main thing we care about, as it takes them years to get up to where they need to get to, and you've got 4 guys that are easy hires. I'd say 2 more, Scully and Wharton, are going to be easy choices. After that, there's a lot of, well, no, we're going to be letting these 5 go right away. Vaughn, Ibrahimi, Sona, Ruddy, Divine, lacking in a 28.89. What? I haven't even seen below a 45 in years. How? Wow. Crisscross. Totally crossed out. I hate this, but my first CD that I ever had was that. Okay, there's my embarrassing moment. How? I was a kid. That's how. Awful. One hit wonders. Awful. It was an awful hit, too. Like, how I liked it. How I thought it was rad. How I thought their clothes be backwards. It was exciting. No. Anyway. Those 6 are definitely gone. Especially with that name. No. Terminate trials. Let them go. Let's reassess again in a day. That would leave us with 3, 4, 5, 6 definite takes, and 4 choices remain. So 6 yeses, 4 to choose from, and I think that might depend a little bit on positions and what my choices are regarding some of these guys. Like a Bergman. Bergman's going to be done this season. We're definitely getting into that 100+ territory, and these guys, let's get this back organized the way it was. Malcolm's in a, like, it's the under 105, I think, might be the in jeopardy now. I think 105 plus still needs to be a take, but we're in League One where a 105 is like average League One. So if they don't even have League One potential, like, what's the point of hanging on to them? So 108, 110 might be more of a necessity, especially if we promote to the championship. Fewer and fewer hands are going to come in. But you still need to kind of fill out these squads, even with guys that don't ever necessarily do things. Eventually, you get to a point where, like, I think Jack Barlow is a better example. Jack Barlow in 86-100 or whatever it was. We're looking at a guy who's about as good as he's ever going to be, but can we actually sell him for 20K? Can we sell him for 15K? Can we make a little bit of money off of this guy is the question. But what does he make a year? 10, 15K? Just terrible, by the way. That's not enough money to live off of. I think he's making 17K. So there's kind of a trade-off, right? We got to pay him, but what do we sell him for? It's not value for what we're paying him to keep him around. But does he help others develop? We don't want a bloated squad. So I think more often than not, we need to just kind of start to choose to let these guys go. And if we have a couple holes in our lower levels, we have a couple holes in our lower levels. But if League One ability starts at 105, If it's, Lee Ward and above, that is League One caliber. And Rossini and Joseph are like right there on the edge. If they're never going to eclipse that, there's no point. And where does that championship one begin? We're looking at Daniel McCartney, potential to be a sky bet, but what is he? Yeah, good player for League One sides at a 114. That's good League One. Or sorry, 113. Archie Jones, good player for most Sky Bet Championship. So right within that gap, from a 113 to a 117, we've crossed over from League One to Championship. So maybe 115-ish, 10-point gap or so, which really means we only have 4 guys that are playing at championship level right now. But there's 4 guys that are going to be there in an instant if we get up there. And there's a whole another wave of guys that are close. I think we're better off heading into next year if we do get promoted than we were entering League One a couple of years back. Not by much, but we are a little bit better off, meaning probably good enough to stave off a relegation battle, but not by much. Like not breaking mid-table. But I'd be perfectly fine with that. I mean, this is all a process, right? You got to hang out to players. You got to pay players. We've got to maintain the books. Nothing's easy about these promotions. Nothing's easy about becoming a championship side and having everybody go, oh, look at the potential of that guy. Look at that Sam Julian and how amazing he is. And, oh, he's only 21 and he still has potential. Like, oh, we want him so bad. Those kind of things. I don't think I saw any 140s, did I, in this group? No, nothing 140. We're looking at some high 130s. No wonder it was average. I'd say compared to past ones, though, it's pretty dang okay. It's just with where we're at. I think Carney needs to be a no. A 37 102 is just not going to cut it. Especially as we're trying to head to the championship, and a 115 seems to be the bare minimum for that. But a 54 112, not too bad. These two are the questionable ones. We got a guy who's out of position, midfielder left and right. Does he even play right attacking mid or right wing back? And he's got some physicals, but he's lacking everything else. He's got technique early on. I think we've got to let Nicky McAllister go as well. And then Simon Williams, I think this one's going to come down to my goalkeeper depth. What do we have? We know that there's a highly sought after goalkeeping Sam Julian, but there is a goalkeeper in this intake who is going to get signed. So I think that settles that. So 112 and above is where we are starting things. Kind of like taking one goalkeeper a year, and he's clearly both better now and better potential. So there you go. That's our decisions made. That's 3 more out. So we are only signing 7 this year. That's a small number compared to what we are used to. There is that group now. I'll go in and deal with the signings off camera, but not great in terms of the potential. I mean, only 7 players, and they just kind of fit right into the mix, right into the middle. 2 guys near the top, sure, but look at how many 130s there are in this group, right? There's a lot. There's a lot of good championship level and could almost be Premier League level. I'm wondering if Sam Julian is now approaching that Premier League level. No, still good player for most championship sides. Not even great player for championship sides. So he's still on the edge. I think a couple more points, and you're looking at Premier League. And there's the big thing, right? We're talking a 115 is championship level, but a 138 is still championship level. Right, where a 105 was League One and a 115 is championship, 10-point gap versus, what was it, 23 points and still not bridge the gap. Like, that gap to Premier League is big. It's no joke. Getting out of the championship would definitely not be happening anytime soon, especially with the pool of players we have. Like, you get these guys into the championship and start performing and, developing, but how good are they going to get? They're all going to get that high 130s. We can get competitive in the championship, but to win it, to get to the Premier League, I don't know if we have the pool of players for that. Now, once we get to the championship and we get a couple intakes, are we finally going to start getting better talent? Because we certainly didn't this year. We're still League One. We're still getting that share of the English market, and we're still growing and developing that reputation, and we still have that League One reputation handcuffing us a little bit. It may be time to also, as we promote to championship, if we promote to championship, it may be time to start looking at a new youth. What do you call them? Head of youth development. There you go. Reese Bennett. I mean, working with youngsters is great, but the judging, he's good. He's good, but we're not talking about major, right? He's a 2-star guy that's just good. There's probably, at least once we are in the championship, I could probably find better than this. We've had him for a few years now, I think. 28? Oh yeah, 6 years. 6 years with the same guy. We've climbed multiple divisions since bringing him in, so I would think we can find better than this. Well, with the elimination, we now find ourselves focused solely on the league. We've also found ourselves caught up. The whole league sits on 39 played right now, so 7 to go. Injuries out of nowhere are suddenly mounting, and with a couple key players, and one of them might be missing the rest of the season. We've got a little time to get healthy, other than one match remaining for the month of March, and then we'll push all the way into April. So that could see this swing in a couple ways, where others outplay us for a little bit. They've already caught up. Will they go ahead of us? Will we suddenly have the game in hand with a very quiet month of March? But we're still ahead. We still have that advantage, but it's slender. It's tight. Like talking about promotions when there's nothing here that goes, oh yeah, you're going to get promoted. No. Promotion playoffs, like that's feeling pretty likely. What are we even up by? 15 points with 7 to play, 21 points available. So we're not far from that window of, Birmingham being out of it. 61 to Portsmouth. They're 20 points down. So we're one match away from one favorable match, them losing, them dropping any points at all, us winning, right? One favorable match away from Portsmouth being eliminated, at least compared to us. So we're getting awfully close to, promotion playoffs, but we're far from, especially with the top 3 as close as we all are, we're far from having anything secure, especially down the stretch, right? That is one of those common things, and we don't have a team full of 28 or 32-year-old veteran players. We've got a bunch of young guys that are still developing, especially mentally, and we've seen poor performances down the stretch from our team. Could be another year for that. We literally just saw that with Chelsea, where we had a poor penalty taking and 2 guys making those mistakes, 2 poor penalties to lose out. It only took Chelsea 4 kicks to beat us. We were 2 for 4. But that is going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.